What's up, plant nerds? Okay, so today we are going to be talking about spider mites and the havoc that they can really cause on your houseplants. And they also can spread really quickly from one plant to the next. So I purposefully let my calathea ornata get a serious case of the spider mites, so that we could go through, you and I together, my exact techniques that I use to get rid of things like spider mites. So step one is really going to be, there's a train. Can you hear the train? Step one, you find your Winston, because you're gonna need emotional support. So step one is all going to be about diagnosis. You're going to be walking through your plant room, you're going to be looking over everything, you're going to be checking everything out, and oh, bad leaf. That doesn't look good. Also, this plant hasn't been watered, so I could show you guys just like what some serious stress looks like on this plant. And you'll notice things like crisping up leaves, discoloration in general. Your calathea ornata should have some pretty rich coloration. Bad edges, look at all that. That looks really bad, and we haven't even really lifted up a leaf yet to really check out what's going on underneath. So this is step one of like diagnosis. Okay, so here we are, and I'm holding my camera with one hand, so we're gonna check out the first leaf. And that doesn't look very good, does it? If you see this, you know that you have a bad case of spider mites. But I would not consider this plant to be a goner. I've actually seen cases this bad, and we've gotten through it together, you know? If every leaf you check under, it's a bad infestation. I mean, this is probably just from not being watered correctly, because I kind of had her off to one side. I knew she had spider mites. I said, okay, great, I'll save you for the spider mite video. What the calathea ornata can look like after she comes back. I think, ooh, look, this leaf, oh, little bitty spider mites there. Maybe I'll show you some B-roll of some spider mites and what they look like under a microscope, but it does not take a microscope to see spider mites. They're clearly visible, and some of spider mites' favorite places to live are right up here, right in these little nooks and crannies, especially on philodendrons. So where the heart-shaped part of the leaf is, you'll see webbing directly across that heart-shaped portion, and I know that these don't have that, so most of them are just congregating on any like crease. Okay, so here is our busted calathea ornata. We have officially diagnosed it with spider mites. What do we do now? What are we supposed to do? You know, when something like this happens to a really expensive plant, it's a real, like, your heart will start racing when you find spider mites. And you're gonna think, this is the end. I gotta pull this plant out of the pot. I gotta wash the roots off. I gotta do all this stuff. But no, I don't. You know what I mean? Whenever I have spider mites, I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. It doesn't involve unpotting my plant. Okay, so the first thing that I do after I've discovered I've got spider mites is I'm gonna go through, and all the leaves that are damaged are gonna go. Now, I don't wanna go down too far on the stalk because a lot of new leaves come from right here on the stem. So we wouldn't wanna go too far down, but like if they're like severely damaged, we're just gonna get rid of it. So I'm going through and I'm just cutting off any of this dead plant material, the stuff that didn't make it. So if it looks bad down here, if it looks bad, if it looks yellow, just get rid of it. It's not worth saving. Also, I just was talking to Casey. I couldn't remember this earlier when I was filming, but none of my plants touch each other. So they all get really close to each other, and sometimes if they are touching, it's on accident, because I'm sure Casey will find some that are touching each other. But it should be like a middle school dance. There should be room for Jesus in between all of your plants, because this plant having spider mites so bad sucks, but it would suck more if it was sitting like super duper close to another plant and had infested the other plant. Because as far as I'm aware, and I'll do my research before I release this video, spider mites can't fly in their adult stage. So as long as this isn't touching anything, we're good to go. So I took off all of what seems to be the most undesirable portions of the plant, also infested with spider mites. So I'm gonna trash those. Okay, I actually hosed this plant down in the shower to set an example like 4 or 5 days ago. I gave it a good thorough hose. I have a detachable shower head, and I hit the undersides of the leaves, and we still have spider mites. So I'm just wanted to kind of make sure and set a precedent that the spider mites would still be there despite beating the hell out of it with shower water. Like, it did no good besides kind of damage my leaves a bunch. Let me show you how I start the first treatment. So you get you a little dollar store water bottle. Doesn't have to be fancy. You can put, it's already got some in it, and this is not exact science by any means. So this is alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I just kind of give quite a bit of alcohol in the bottle, and then I take a couple of squirty boos of some Dawn dish soap, and then I just fill the rest of it up with just some lukewarm tap water all the way to the top. And you're gonna use this a lot because plants just get spider mites. That's just part of life. They're not ever gonna go away. So just go ahead and make you a full bottle because you're gonna use it. Give it a little agitation. Work that Dawn dish soap around in it a little bit. This is gonna take a minute. So if you have a plant that has spider mites, you need to set it aside until you're ready to do this. And then when you're ready, just have a seat and go ahead and give all of your leaves a once over spray on the top sides with your alcohol solution. Just kind of just don't soak it. You know, you're gonna get wet enough as it is. Just preliminary. This is just to kind of soften everything up and loosen up all that spider mite debris that's on the top of your leaves. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a crappy makeup brush, and you want it to be the kind of makeup brush that hurts your face when you use it on your face. Just kind of abrasive. You know, you don't want it to be a super soft mink one. Get like the crappiest, like look at how the hairs are falling out. This is like the crappiest brush ever. Just slightly abrasive. You're gonna grab your leaf. You're gonna support it with the back of your hand, because if you just start doing this, you're gonna put holes in everything. So you're gonna start at the top of your leaf, right where this little V bit is. This is where, and you need to re-wet it if it gets really dry. This is where spider mites love to have parties. They like to barbecue. They invite cousins over. They like to have block parties right there. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna follow the veination of the leaves. You see how they go in this direction? That's how our strokes are gonna go. Is that better? Right down these leaves. You see? We're gonna work our way all the way down, like that. And we are gonna make sure that there are no spider mites on the top of this leaf. You can even get a close-up look. What we're looking for is like scorched earth policy here. We're looking to destroy their homes, and their homes lie in these very shallow portions of the leaf bit. So once you do this on the top and bottom portion of the leaf, there's nowhere left for them to go. A lot of times when I'm doing this, I will actually sit and put the plant in my lap. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this from this angle. We'll just try it like this. We'll just lift it. So we're gonna start, just like I showed you before, right here at the beginning. Right here at the node of the, not the node, but what do you call that, babe?
Base of the stem.
Just the base of the stem. We're gonna, and see, they love to live in these creases. So we're gonna just like get rid of every home they ever thought about having. We're gonna go right through these creases, all along the leaf edges also. Supporting the leaf with your hand the whole time. Running the brush through the leaf all the way to the bottom. Okay? Now this is different than just taking your plants to the shower and spraying them with neem oil, because a lot of spider mite webs are hydrophobic, and it doesn't matter how much crap you spray on them, if you're not disrupting their environment, they're gonna be there the next time you pick them up. So this is actually like, this is a guarantee policy right here. And all the spider mites are gone from all these little crevices here. So let's, we'll do one more.
Let's see if we can see the spider mites on the next one.
I'm gonna get a bad one. I think I've already sprayed the tops down. Okay, here's a really bad leaf. So here's a before leaf. We haven't done this one yet.
What are we looking for here?
This spider mite bit right here, this is like these pieces of salt.
The little white fuzzy
The little white
things?
fuzzy looking things, yeah, right here. Can you see those?
Yeah, those are the webs.
Those are like the little spider mites themselves, the little salt bits, the little white things, but the webs will be here, right here, where they're living. They're kind of floating in these webs. You see, you disrupt the web. Look at that, you see? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna treat this leaf and then I'm gonna have him look at this leaf after the fact. Now this doesn't mean the spider mites are completely gone. You're gonna have to do this like at least 2 more times. See how I'm starting right here at the base? They love to live in these little nook and crannies. You can't get to that with your finger without causing damage to your plant, and we don't want to do that. They've already been through enough with the spider mites, so you just want to be gentle. Using a makeup brush, work your way all the way down, all these crevices. So this way when you get spider mites, you don't have to super duper panic. You know that if you catch it fast enough and you see a spider mite, that you're going to burn their houses down. And they won't have anywhere to live anymore. So we're gonna do the underside of this leaf that was looking like crap. Gonna spray her down and be somewhere where also you can have some overspray and some drippage. We're gonna work that little nook right there. Make sure that we get that out. Then we're just gonna start working with the pattern of the leaf, because if you go straight down, you're gonna miss it. It's gonna pop over it like a speed bump. You know, you gotta do it as if you're trying, you really gotta get in those wrinkles. See? And start at the top. Kind of work your way down. Your hand tired, babe? Get these little ruffles on the side as well, because they'll live in the ruffles on the side.
So does the alcohol kill them?
The alcohol kills them. The soap is like a backup policy because it creates a residue on the leaf that they really don't care for, but the plants don't mind. But the alcohol, yeah, as soon as they get exposed to the alcohol, they're dead. Now here's what's cool about the technique itself. The first spray of alcohol may not have killed everything and may not have killed the eggs, right? Because their spider web things were still on here, which are hydrophobic. So they still could have had eggs in here, right? But this spray, that got everything. Because we just did it all, we just wiped it all down. So we know that alcohol is hitting every surface of that leaf. And you don't have to worry about alcohol or soap. It's scary to use the first time on your plants, but they're super resilient and they really don't mind it at all. Then you do your whole plant. And you have to be invested in order to want to get rid of these spider mites. And you just go one leaf at a time. I would even advise going down your stems. Periodically, you might want to spray your dill down, and also I just soak this in soapy water, and then when I'm ready to use it again, I don't worry about, you know, it's just plants and this is just an old makeup brush. So, and then I will show you what it looks like post-treatment but pre-healing process. Okay, so now we're gonna take this girl right here and we are gonna go give her a thorough watering, and we're also going to just give her one last spray down, kind of all over, and then I will actually sit her in front of a fan to dry. You okay if I turn the fan on, buddy? Oh yes, it's a spa day, Quentin. If you get really close up on some of these leaves, you can actually see that there's no actual signs of spider mites left. It's just some scarring from where they were. See, if you rub that, it doesn't go away. So she's all clean for now, and she's just gonna sit out and be clean for a while. Last thoughts on spider mites would be, I don't buy plants anymore that have small, dainty leaves, because this technique won't work on plants that have small, dainty leaves. And so far, this technique, if I find spider mites from either the very beginning stage of spider mites all the way through a pretty bad spider mite infestation, which is like I let this girl go. I let her get a bad infestation so we could kind of test it out. But I'm pretty sure that after a long time, this whole year of using the spider mite technique, if I do get spider mites, I don't keep spider mites. And also, for your alocasias and colocacias, you should be doing this technique every single time you water. Just like Keep Your Plants On LA said on Jimmy's video, it's not about if you'll get spider mites on an alocasia or a colocasia, it's when. You should be treating your alocasias and colocacias, if you keep them indoors, you should be treating them every time you water them, just to keep them at bay, because they will attack your alocasias. That about wraps it up for this segment. We will come back next time and we will get an update on this specific plant right here. I'll show you how she's looking. So we will catch you guys next time. Peace out. Later, taters.
Bye.
You did a good job helping Mama with the spider mites. Oh, you did good. You did good. You got it on your face. Oh, but you did so good. Good boy. Good boy. We got rid of those spider mites. Good job.